What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Charlie again, and I am here with Dave Duran. What's up, Dave?
What's going on, Charlie?
So, I promised you guys a clip on Bullet Club is Fine. So first, accept my deepest apologies for the annoying fucking watermark that's probably sitting on my face right now. Me and Dave spent about 20 minutes trying to figure out how to give this to you without a watermark. So dudes, please, if you know of something that we don't that is free, leave it in the comments below right after you hit subscribe to the Elite and NYC channel. Dave, Bullet Club is fine. Is it true?
Bullet Club is not fine, my friend.
It is not fine. So we saw a lot of interesting stuff over the past week and a half in regards to Bullet Club.
Yes.
We saw the conclusion of Kenny versus Cody. We also saw a black-haired Cody reappear. We saw the firing squad, or OGBC, attack the entire Bullet Club Elite, which, Tama Tanga said something that is real. They did take out 9 dudes. Granted, they attacked them from behind, but they did take down 9 dudes. So, you've got a really interesting period in wrestling right now, probably one of the longest stories that has evolved over the past year and a half. Eat your heart out, WWE. Continuity in a fucking story. Who knew it existed with the dribble that WWE's been putting out over the past couple of years? But with that being said, in terms of the Bullet Club, what is next for them, and really, what does this story look like?
Oh, man, you know what it made? NWO black and white and NWO red and white. Black and red, I'm sorry.
Black and red. That sort of killed the NWO, though, that whole Wolfpack versus black and white scenario.
But I think these guys are smarter than that.
I agree.
I think that they're more smarter. They know how to do their stuff. They know how to. The business is booming everywhere. So this could be maybe a marketing grab. Hey, why not?
It could
make
be
more money.
It definitely could be. And my thoughts on the matter were, this is actually a natural transgression. Everything that the Bucks have said leading up to this point was that the Kenny versus Cody feud was a long time coming because they also wanted to always do a Bullet Club Civil War. It's a very large civil war in that now you've got faction versus faction versus faction, but they've always wanted to do a Bullet Club Civil War. Adam Cole was supposed to be that front guy. Frankly, I am glad he was not. As much as I love Adam Cole, as much as I love Adam Cole, I actually think that putting Cody into this storyline allowed him to show something that he's really great at, which is being an incredible heel. I mean, he went with his Zach Morris blonde-style haircut. He had his Kiss the Ring, not the wedding ring.
I love that.
That's only for you, Franny.
Kiss the Ring.
He had the Kiss the Ring. He had so many different parts of this heel character that he developed that it started to remind me a lot of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I don't know if it was the same for you, but with the flexing and the push-ups and the blonde hair and everything that he was doing, it seemed very. Even the weight belt, he had the nightmare weight belt that he was rocking.
Yeah.
So
it's dude. It has to be. Cody has evolved from that Stardust character and the Cody Rhodes from WWE. This is a totally different animal when it comes to Cody Rhodes. He's taking it to the next level.
I would say he's the Cody he was always meant to be.
Exactly.
I looked at his career in WWE, and I was always a fan of his. Whether it was Stardust, whether it was Dashing or the Dastardly or whatever he was rocking, he pulled it off, and you could see that he had this ability to act. I mean, the guy can really act. That's the best way to put it. Now, there was a moment in Cody's WWE career where I thought he was going to break Vince McMahon's imaginary glass ceiling. Tell me if you remember this. It was a Money in the Bank ladder match, right? Mm-hmm. And Damien Sandow was also in the match. Sorry, Aaron Rex, wherever you are, may you rest in peace. Damien Sandow was, he was the guy that was up against Cody. They were tag team partners at the time, which was an amazing tag team. And there was a point where Cody was climbing that ladder, and the entire arena, Cody, everyone wanted to see him take that spot. Everyone wanted him to get the cash in. He was the perfect character for a cash in. It made so much sense. And instead they give it to Damien Sandow. Only to have Damien Sandow lose it to John Cena.
WWE does some stuff sometimes that I'm like,
I think
I don't know what the hell they're doing.
The only good thing to come out of them is Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and we could say NXT has done almost anything right. But back to Cody.
Dude, I watched more NXT than I watched
Me too.
the main roster.
NXT is the only must-watch.
But getting back to Cody, bro, it was coming. It was coming.
Absolutely.
And I hope that if he ever goes back to the WWE allows him to continue the same way he is now.
150%.
Don't water him down.
Perfect. Honestly, I'm hoping that more people from WWE break towards the Indies than more people from the Indies break towards WWE.
I wish. I mean, there's potential there. There's a lot of guys that are almost, free agents in the next couple of months before the year ends, and
yep.
You never know.
Exactly.
You never know who makes the jump.
Look at what they take. They take control over their own merchandise. They take their control over their own storylines. It seems New Japan, ROH. I mean, we're moving towards a new era, and I think the new era, and in the older days, right? It was territorial, so you had your own independent promotions, but the promoter still owns the talent, right? Then you had WWE, which basically took all of those territories, merged them under one umbrella. In all of this, talent never had their own purpose, their own direction. It was, here's your storyline. Even back in the 80s and 90s when they cut their own promos in the Austin era, although talents became massive and were compensated well for the work that they were doing, they never really controlled their own destiny, right?
Yeah, that's true.
What Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes have done is they've ultimately taken the power that used to be in the hands of a promoter and they put that in the hands of the talent. And they've done that through what we're doing right now by adapting to social platforms, by going out there and creating their own merchandise line, by getting people to want to support them. And it's been a pretty cool ride over the past.
It's not only that; it's they're giving. How do I say? They're giving the wrestling audience a different alternative. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this WWE structure anymore. You know what I mean? If I want to watch wrestling, I don't have to watch WWE. It's not the only show around anymore.
150%. It's not what's it? It's not the only horse in town, right?
Exactly.
The only show in town.
Exactly. And to my opinion, if they all stay in New Japan and ROH, I guarantee you that both of those companies within 5 years, I would say, they'll be up to par with WWE.
I think it'll be
everyone is going to want them.
I think it's going to be two different things, right? So I think that New Japan and ROH will become the adult-oriented program that TNA was supposed to become years ago, which, by the way, TNA has gotten a lot better as of late. I don't know if you've caught some of their main events, but that six-man tag they did last week was absolutely phenomenal.
I don't really follow TNA like that. I mean, I followed it before when Kevin Nash, Sting, all of them were there, AJ, Samoa Joe. I don't really follow it anymore.
Start checking it out. It's coming back. I would say that there's been a massive influx of indie talent that's not in Ring of Honor. Like Tessa Blanchard, to me, is literally the best female wrestler, and she's the headline of their division now. And then they've got Penta. They've got some of the other guys.
Penta. I've seen Penta wrestle before.
Brian Cage from Lucha Underground. Rich Swann just moved over there. Why is his mind escaping me right now? He's the autograph for Pro Wrestling Crate this month. The guy's absolutely phenomenal. He got let go from WWE. He left WWE. Sammy Callahan. Sammy Callahan is tearing shit up over there.
Yeah, I follow. I mean, I follow it, but
start watching it again. It's really damn good. It's one of those things. Little by little.
I'm gonna give it a go.
But I think everybody here is waiting for the Bullet Club, right? We can go on some pretty. You guys are all wrestling fans. We all can go on some pretty magnificent segues. That being said, so Cody's done some amazing things. He's definitely taken the perfect villain role in this whole storyline. Awesome. And then watching the narrative develop of him versus Kenny, and you could kind of see where each step of it came from. I just never looked at it at the last angle, which I'll come back to. But looking at where it came from, there was this jealousy between Kenny and Cody. You had that thing where Cody came to throw the towel out in the Okada match, and then Kenny came and did that shit back to him. And then it all comes down to Kota Ibushi, right? The Golden Lovers, which was brilliant. Personally, I think the reunion of the Golden Lovers is more of a ploy if Kenny leaves New Japan It was like they gave the crowd in Japan one last hurrah of the Golden Lovers. But at the end of the day, this continued storyline, he acted as the centerpiece of the feud, Kota Ibushi. And then you add Cody, who is such a dastardly heel, kissing Kota, which I'm sure was fun for Kenny. And then I actually, by the way, sideway, I met Brandy the following week, who...
Awesome. I met her too.
Such a sweet person. Brandy Rhodes, if you ever watch this, you are such a great person. Your husband's exact words when I told him I met you was, "Isn't she a peach?"
Yes, she's awesome.
So
See, I even have some merch, some stuff. I have some stuff signed from her too. She's
on the elite wall.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's great.
I mean, they're all awesome. I love. Listen, I haven't followed wrestling that much. And ever since I started watching New Japan and ROH, the Bullet Club, I have everything Bullet Club, dude. Everything.
I spoke to Papa Buck the other day, and Papa Buck's really cool. And he literally said to me when I told him, your sons woke me up from a wrestling coma. And it's true.
Yeah.
I was legitimately basically sleeping through WWE programming, kind of like...
I hated it. I hated it, dude. I couldn't watch. I couldn't even sit. Listen, WrestleMania was supposed to be the biggest thing ever. Royal Rumble. I used to love these pay-per-views, and I couldn't sit and watch not one.
I am 100%. The only thing, I would tune in for a couple of wrestlers. So anytime Seth Rollins is on, I'm watching Seth Rollins. Anytime AJ's on, I'm going to, Bullet Club, right? For life. Anytime AJ's on, I'm going to watch AJ. These guys, you have to watch. Daniel Bryan, I'm going to watch because Daniel Bryan is the best actor in town. But end of the day, the show itself, the continuities, the stories. I mean, even The Miz is great. But the stories that they create
I love that guy.
for the talent are just not good.
By the way, if Cody goes to WWE, I would so love to see both of those guys go at it verbally.
Oh
my God. That would be gold, brothers.
So I posted something on my Twitter. You guys could check it out. If you want to see how good of a heel Cody is, never mind just what he says. He did a town promo. It's the best way to put it. He did a town promo where literally he talked about doing All In 2 in NYC and then was like, we would never host it in this dump. The fuck you, Cody chants were absolutely amazing. And listen, New York City, Hammerstein Ballroom, we can get rowdy, right? You're from the Bronx, I'm from Staten Island. We can go. That being said, Cody knew the crowd loved him. That's not the emotion he wanted. He knew what to say to flip him, right? And I'm not talking about Flip Gordon. We'll get to him. So, now going back to the Bullet Club and this whole story. You better win the title Friday, Flip. You better fucking win. You got no choice. Yeah. Anyway, so looking at where where Cody's taken this, right? So we watched this whole story evolve, which they do an amazing job of constructing on being the elite between New Japan and ROH, which kudos to New Japan and ROH for working together to tie a storyline in from being the elite. I mean, it was smart as hell, right? So that story plays itself out. You watch Cody's ego building out. You watch Kenny being like this alone little man in a place somewhere, just him and Kota. That part was brilliant acting by Kenny. The scenes of him like sitting in his room alone, eating ice cream, crying, right? That was amazing.
And I was so heartbroken, I'm not going to lie. I was like, damn it, Kenny, get back. Go back to the elite.
Just go hang out with the Bucks. They love you. They love you, Kenny. Yeah. It wasn't their fault. And then even when it gets to this scene where Kenny and Cody have their first showdown, right? That first match was Super Card of Honor, right? Where they have their first showdown, and then the Bucks double super kick Kenny instead of Cody. And then Cody comes out like a dick a day later and releases the They Chose Me t-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. And then pretends to be leader of the Bullet Club.
Cody is awesome.
Cody was the man.
And not only that, but you gotta give it to Kenny Omega, man. Kenny Omega's having... He reminds me of... he's like, to me, like the New Japan Chris Jericho.
He is. Except Chris Jericho's in New Japan now.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that he's equivalent to what Chris Jericho was in WWE.
I would say, he's what, and you could debate this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of debate, but I've seen a lot of fantastic wrestlers in my life. My favorite wrestler growing up was Bret the Hitman Hart. I was always a fan of the in-ring psychology that Bret Hart brought to the table. Then also I was a fan of Shawn Michaels, who brought something a little bit different to the table. He was able to mix his charisma to tell a story. And that's why Bret and Shawn really went together so well. They both did the same thing from different angles, right? Kenny Omega, I love Cody Rhodes. Cody is what I would call good in the ring, great on the microphone. He can hang in the ring. That match that we'll get to that we just saw, Kenny versus Cody, was one of the best matches of the year, bar none. But Kenny Omega has brought back old school ring psychology and mixed it with new school impact move. I forget what they call them.
Strong style.
Not strong style. Strong style's in there with the knees, but more of the pop stuff. What do they call that? It's skipping my mind at the moment.
Well, the flips and stuff?
Yeah, there's a word for it. I'm forgetting the name for it. But Kenny's really mixed all of that well. But they made a joke out of it in being the Elite this week, where it was, they showed him reading the in-ring psychology book, the psychology book.
Oh, yeah.
Young Bucks. He's really taken in-ring psychology, brought it back into the mix, because if you watch a WWE product, there's very few of them that actually tell a story in the ring, right? Attack limbs, show emotion. To depict different things happening for different reasons. So Kenny's brought that back.
Yeah, he has. The only thing I would say, that Kenny needs to tone down a bit is that strong style.
Well, if he goes to WWE, they'll limit him to 5 moves. So all he's going to do is be kneeing people all day.
Yeah, no, we don't need him in WWE. You can say that, but I'm saying, I don't want to see him get hurt and not be able to wrestle or that to take a toll on his body, in the long run.
100% agree.
But other than that, man, that guy is fucking
next
gold.
level.
I love Kenny Omega.
So do I. Kenny Omega is. So if I have a list of top 5 favorite wrestlers right now, Kenny.
Give me a top 5. I'll give you mine.
So my top 5 right now: Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes because of his mic work ability. Okay, so I'm going to have to give you 6 because WWE has to factor in when you're talking about it. So Kenny Rhodes, Cody Omega. I'm going to count Matt and Nick Jackson as 1. The Young Bucks count as 1. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, Nick, but you guys are 1. The next wrestler that I would put into the equation is Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. Oh, Seth Rollins. Okay, add those guys in there, and that's my list. Those are the guys that I will watch no matter what.
I would say my top 5, Kenny. That's number 1. I'll go with Cody, the Bucks as well. My 4th, I want to say Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh, dude, it's got to be 10. It's got to be. You can't have a top 5. It's got to be 10 because you got to put Gargano.
Right now,
you got to put Gargano in there too, though.
And Gargano, yeah, for sure.
So that takes 5. But then what do? You have to love Styles, Bryan, and Rollins as well. So it's got to be 10. And then we can put Velveteen Dream at 9 if you want, and Ricochet at 10 and call it a list.
Velveteen Dream is another one too. I love that guy.
Oh man,
it's a modern version of Goldust.
No, he's way more than that. He's like someone took Rick Rude, mixed them with Goldust, mixed them with in-ring ability of Shelton Benjamin, mixed them with the pizzazz of Ric Flair. Like, wow, Velveteen. And you know what's funny? I watched NXT that year, and I saw Patrick Clark. And I said, if they could ever give this guy the right gimmick, he would be magnificent. And he gave himself the right gimmick, because that Dream character was all him. But we've got like 17 videos in here that we're creating on side notes. So going back to the Bullet Club, we've talked about Cody, we've talked about Kenny. I think the people that often get overlooked, and I've also, during the whole Kenny and Cody Rhodes feud, I love Kenny and Cody so much that I didn't want to take a stance. So I always said that I'm Team Bucks. Okay? You can see it right here. I am Team Bucks.
I love the Bucks.
Right? So Matt and Nick Jackson are behind all of this. They are fucking geniuses. They are part of the brains behind All In. They are the people that started being the Elite. Sure, it started out being a blog, but they're the ones that had the foresight to see what to turn it into. They've crafted this whole storyline from front to back with input from the other members, but being the Elite was their story, right?
So remember, it's still a gimmick. They kind of give them their input to see, how their gimmick is gonna, be portrayed.
Cody fed into them perfectly because Cody turns them against Kenny by telling them that he felt the Golden Lovers were a better tag team than the Young Bucks. Then he tried, and what's funny is if you look at it, the genius of this whole storyline, he actually did something good for them too, because they used Cody as the motivation to turn the Bucks heavyweight, right? So the reason that the Bucks are heavyweight is because Cody told them that people kept calling them the best light heavyweight tag team in the world. And Kenny was on the record as saying that shit. So it was a good way of kind of moving them in that direction.
Yeah, motivation.
Yep.
Motivate them to
then he tried to turn them against each other, which they found out, and that's when they kicked him in the face. But, end of the day, the Bucks issued that. The best match in this whole feud, because if we're talking about in-ring matches of that segment, I would say the last Cody versus Kenny match comes in at number 2. The Young Bucks.
The one that just happened?
Yeah, that comes in as number 2.
It wasn't Dominion, right?
Dominion, Kenny.
No, the one that happened in San Francisco.
Dominion, Kenny fought Okada. So that doesn't count.
That was
the best pay-per-view event I've seen in the last 5 years. Just the whole event.
No, it's true.
Watching even the Bucks versus Evil and Sonata, LIJ, phenomenal. The best match in the whole feud was, and you want to talk about a story of in-ring psychology, it was the Bucks versus the Golden Lovers. That was the match that stole this feud. Because literally it was the Bucks that healed it with the Golden Elite. It was the Bucks that turned their back on Kenny, sort of. Kenny in the story fucked up. And where Kenny fucked up in the story is when you're Bullet Club, you side with the Bullet Club, right? By siding against Cody with Ibushi, theoretically, Kenny was the one that should have got jumped, right? Now we're going New York style.
That's what I thought that was going to happen. Like initially, when that whole thing happened, I thought, man, they're going to kick Kenny out of the Bullet Club. He's probably going on to WWE or so. That was right after. It was right after his. You started to see some sort of shade when he fought Chris Jericho.
Yep.
So the seeds were planted there.
Remember something. The Bullet Club is a heel faction. While I don't believe in heels and faces anymore, I don't think they should exist in wrestling in the year 2018. While I don't believe in heels and faces anymore, the Bullet Club's a heel faction. It's a group of evil infiltrators from America to Japan. That is what the Bullet Club is, right? They're made up of all gaijin, I think they call them, wrestlers, all non-Japanese wrestlers, and they were there as a function of destruction of the rest of New Japan. That's where the Bullet Club comes from. Kenny, the Bucks, the Elite were becoming faces at the sake of everyone else in the Bullet Club. Marty, Hangman, Cody, the Tongans, they're all heels, right? Still. Now, it can be debated that Marty is the worst villain in the history of the world, because although he's amazing and I love everything that he does, I've never seen a villain that's a good guy. But, sorry, Marty. I got your umbrella, bro. I got like 7 of your t-shirts. You're one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, Marty. Yeah. But, bro, you are the worst villain in the world. A plague.
He's a good villain.
You're like the Mary Poppins of villains. The umbrella. I love it. No, but Marty, seriously, if you ever do watch this, which I doubt you will ever watch, 2 guys sitting here talking about Bullet Club with watermarks over their video.
Before the show ends, I'll show you something really special.
Cool.
That I got from
Marty. No, dude, Marty.
I got not only from Marty, from Bullet Club, but with the exception of Kenny, because he wasn't at the event.
Well, he's never, he doesn't come to America much. So now, going back to that match of the Lovers versus the Bucks. The in-ring psychology in that match on display was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. To where it ends with Matt Jackson on Kenny's shoulder, begging Kenny to put him out of his fucking misery, right? Sitting on his shoulder saying, "You better fucking do it," right? That was phenomenal. That was amazing to the 10th degree. The ending of that match spoke so much, but it also showed why after that match, the hesitation kind of led Matt to start to think, you know, we miss Kenny. We want him to be a part of our family again. So we've covered the Bucks, we've covered Cody, we've covered Kenny, and where they've gotten to this point. There's the other guys in the Elite as well, right? So that would be the fabulous villain Marty Scrull and Hangman Page.
Whoop, whoop.
The best theme song ever. Hangman is a different story right now. They are grooming Hangman to be the top guy. When Kenny's gone, when Cody's gone, Hangman's the top guy. I told him.
I think he'll be. He would be a good fit with Tama Tanga, and the other guy.
I told him.
His brother.
Camacho.
Camacho. I think he would be such a great fit in that group.
He would, and I told Hangman when I met him, this will make you appreciate him even more. I said, you know, I got to tell you something, bro, for real. You legitimately are one of the most gifted in-ring performers I've ever seen in my life. And he's only going to get better. You know what his answer to me was? This sly, cocky motherfucker. He puts a big-ass smile on his face, and then he gets all serious. I know. Just dead ass in the eye.
Dude, I met him. I met him at the show in November. He kind of got pissed. He kind of got hurt. I don't know if you heard about it. Like, I think his hamstring or something he got hurt in the ring. And I saw him. He came from the back and went to go get a beer, and I think it was a hot dog or something. And I was in line. I was like literally next to him. I was like, "Holy shit!" Fucking
just buying a hot dog on line next to it.
I was like, dude, can I get it for you? I'll pay for it. Because I was ordering shit anyways, and he was like, no, you're not going to buy me nothing. Like, you know, he was in character. I was like, whoa. I was like, all right, sorry, dude.
Yo, but you're cool with me walking into Hot Topic and buying your T-shirt. That's okay, though. You probably make less on the T-shirt than you would have for the hot dog. Sorry, buddy. Just saying. No, but look, I love when they keep kayfabe. It's amazing.
He didn't kayfabe at all.
No,
it was the same Adam Page that
and you know what the greatest part about that? You know what he was before he was Hangman?
Teacher.
A high school teacher. Imagine imagine being one of his students. Like, yo, that's my old teacher.
Oh shit, that was my teacher.
Yeah. So now where Marty and Hangman fall into this is, I think Hangman was, since he was the true heel, he stayed a true heel the entire time and was basically like the right-hand man to Cody during the whole scheme, right, during this whole story. So the one person you never questioned that was on Cody's side was Adam Page.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Marty falls into it by default because what happened was I associate Marty more as like hanging around with the Bucks. And because because he was sort of sided with the Bucks, he sort of reluctantly went with Cody, and he teamed with Cody, you know?
Yeah, I mean, does wrestle a lot with Cody.
Yeah.
He's booked a lot of tag team matches with Cody, so I think he falls more into the Cody side.
He is on the Cody side of the feud. He was.
Yeah.
And even if you look at it now, when they're doing this Bullet Club versus Alpha Club nonsense for the Cruise of Jericho, which I really want to watch, he's still with Cody.
That's going to be a good match. I wish I was going. And it's setting out here in Miami. I wish I was able to go, dude.
I asked Jericho. I was like, "Can you stream it on something? Can you like put it on Being the Elite? Can you put it on something?" And he was like, "Nope," and gave me a link to the cruise line. I went, "You bastard."
Yeah, he blocked me. I don't know why the fuck Jericho blocked me on Twitter.
Jericho,
thanks a lot, Jericho.
Jericho, if you see this, save Dave's Twitter account, Y2J. Please
save us, Y2J.
Save him.
I fucking love you. One of my favorite wrestlers in the world, Chris Jericho.
Do you know that I literally allowed my Slam crate to renew because I have the box coming for this month. I'm going to cancel it after. I accidentally forgot to, but I'm almost glad that I didn't because I found out that the featured item is Jericho. So I'm okay with it now because it's Y2J. But moving to the next part of this story, so we know what's going on with each of them. I wanted to do that quick recap talk. We're about 30 minutes in. Probably only 10 of that was spent on Bullet Club. I want to do this quick recap of how we got to here. So now we can pick up at the Cow Palace and what happened at the G1 USA special.
Right.
It was pretty amazing to watch how that all unfolded.
It was. I didn't get to see the entire event, but I got to see some of the matches. Like, I saw some of the highlights and some of the matches, a recap of the match of Kenny and Cody. My God. What a fucking match.
If I could find a way to send you my DVR box, mail it to you, dude, it was literally one of the best.
What channel is it on?
Access.
Yeah, I don't have it on Comcast.
It's Access TV. There's other ways you could get the matches. I'll fill you in and send you places to buy it or whatever. But Cody versus Kenny was such an amazing match. And Bucks versus Evil and Sonata again tore the house down.
Oh,
Bucks always tear the house down. You know, anytime you start hearing the elite, you know, shit goes crazy, right? Anytime you hear that one crazy,
party,
right there, boy.
Dude, you know what's so funny? Just a side note. I was at the mall today with my son and my wife, and you know my youngest son that just was born on Friday. So my little one, my 5-year-old, we're walking down the aisle, and he starts singing the throughout the entire mall. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. I thought it was something good.
Dude, I bust my son's chops all the time. I've now taught him 2 things, because he's only 2, so he's not going to know this. So whenever someone says yes, his reaction is to go, yeah. So I've got him doing the yes chant. And the other thing that I do with him is I'll scream super kick Charlie, because his name's Charlie, and he comes running in the room looking for a super kick. I don't really kick him, obviously, but I do a slap on the side, and he starts hysterical laughing.
My son is the same way. He too sweets me every time.
Oh, I can't wait for that one. I've been trying.
Every time.
He's too little. I can't get his hand
every time.
But remember, it's not too sweet. It's 1 now. It's 1. We don't do
that.
We're sensitive.
Well, he knows, the old one.
Yeah.
I try to teach him old school.
Yeah, to teach him. Well, you got old school, new school. You do it both ways, right? That's that awkward scene at the end. That awkward scene at the end when Chase is going to give it too sweet, and he's like. So in the.
But yeah, man, that match was incredible. I in my books, if I could give it a 6-star, I know it doesn't exist.
No, listen. If Dave Meltzer can hand out stars like they're nothing, I'm going to say it right now. That was a 7.5-star match.
Yeah, I would say
8. Well, Okada only got 7.5, so I got to kind of give it somewhere in the same line as Okada.
All right. No, but the Okada match was a little bit more.
If we're counting the 10 story, if we're counting the full story, it's a 10-star. Because literally what you watched was the culmination of one story and the development of another. And I think the coolest part about it is, you know, we watched literally Cody and Kenny beat the ever-loving shit out of each other.
Yes, we did.
And I literally thought that Cody was dead at one point in the match. And I'm not even talking about the bump that they took when they came off the ladder.
That was crazy.
I'm talking about the table.
The bump on the table?
The bump on the table, I thought Cody Rhodes was legit.
That's what I was referring to when I said the strong style. That they need to tone it down.
That's not strong style. Strong style is the method of
stopping
and shaking. That is just an insane bump. Like, if Cody Rhodes' career would have ended right there, what would they have done? And literally, the table didn't break. That's why it looks so fucking nasty.
But what is it with these tables and fucking chairs in Japan? I don't understand.
Know.
They can't get WWE style shit.
I don't know what it is. They're using some tough ass tables, man. Because Cody hit that shit hard and it did not break.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? It's like reinforced. It's like a reinforced table.
Yeah, no, and ROH tables break. It's literally just New Japan. They don't break.
Yeah, it's just New Japan. It's the same thing. The same bump he did with Jericho. And it didn't end that bad, but it was bad.
And I thought Cody was dead. So then you watch the finish of the match where you literally can take away two things from that match. First thing you take away from that match, right? If you ever doubted Cody Rhodes' in-ring ability, you should never again. Because Cody showed he can hang. Two, it made both men look phenomenal. Because Cody Rhodes looked amazing. It showed he can truly wrestle. Kenny showed he could put on a match of any style, any type, anyone. And then the finish with Brandy jumping over Cody's body, trying to stop him from being kneed, and then ending it with the one-wing angel, which looks so devastatingly brutal.
I love that. I love that move.
It's such a great move. That he actually both finishing moves, the Crossroads and the one-wing angel, are two of my favorite finishing moves.
Yeah, the Crossroads is great. But I like more that one-wing angel.
One-wing beats. Crossroads is like a modified swinging neck breaker, whereas a one-wing angel is like an electric chair kind of mixed with a couple of other things. Now, we've gotten to the end of the match, and this is where shit gets interesting, right? Because this is where there was a fucking hit, right? So
that's where the psychology comes in.
The match ends. We get Cody walking to the back, wounded, battered, beaten. The Bucks checking on both of them the entire time. And this shows that they have a passion for both of them as friends. Which we go to Being the Elite later on in the week, and we see that Matt spoke to Cody before the show and was like, I don't know what's gotten into you the past couple months. I love you, man. You're my brother. But something's up with you. You need it to change. Which kind of is a perfect segue for what happened after the match, because the old Cody would have fucking decked Kenny with the chair. But he didn't. But we'll get to that. So you get everybody up on the stage. You've got the three Tongans and fucking Haku. What the fuck is Haku's problem? Sorry, I had to.
What the fuck is Haku's problem?
What the fuck is Haku's problem?
I was surprised. Man, Haku looks good, man.
Haku does look good, man.
God damn it.
But wasn't that the best part of the whole thing where you watch that whole Being the Elite episode and then Cody just like wanders into the room, eats a piece of chicken, and is like, and what the fuck is Haku's problem?
He has the most epic shit ever.
He does. And it's the way he says it too, because he's got like that little bit of a list, but he's got, so what the fuck is Haku's problem? And you're like, whoa.
Oh, man.
What the series of events are, and I don't think this is spoilers for anybody at this point. We're about a week removed from it, a week and a half. You know, they're all celebrating together as the Bullet Club. We finally think that the Bullet Club is fine. The title of this video is going to be Bullet Club is fine. We finally think that the Bullet Club is fine. And they're all standing there together. I even saw the Bucks throw a too sweet. I know Nick Jackson's eyes rolled behind the back of his head. Again, just an example of the amazing storytelling that they tell to later segue that. So then the attack starts. And you've got the group of the firing squad, or OGBC, attacking Kenny and the Bucks.
Really?
And they drag their asses back to the ring. Right? And they literally beat the ever-loving piss out of them. Right? By the way, loving the fact that Tama is using the gun stun now as a flashback to KA in those days, in the original BC days. So they beat the living shit out of them. Then you get the reinforcements, right? You get Marty and you get Hangman. And Marty and Hangman run down and they get their asses beat too. Right? There's 3-on-2.
Chase Owens came out too, right?
After Marty and Hangman. So, and this was like...
And who's the other guy? There's Chase Owens and there's someone else, right?
And I'm probably going to botch his name. It's Yujiro Takahashi.
Is that the Bone Soldier?
No, he's Japanese pimp.
Okay.
Ishimura is Bone Soldier, and he's part of the
OGBC?
Yeah, he's OGBC. Yeah, we'll talk about the lines in a minute. But Chase and Yujiro came out not to attack either side, but just to be like more of like, what the fuck, man? Why are you doing this? Because remember, Chase is part Tongan. Chase is literally by blood part Tongan, right? Which you learn in this week's episode of Being the Elite. Side note, after this, I went and bought a Chase Owens shirt. I support my boys, the Elite. Chase Owens is now Elite. I did not buy the undershirt, boss shirt. You know why? Because when I think of bad luck, Fale, I got 2 words. Fuck them. Okay, sorry again, had to do it. So you wind up having those guys come out and get attacked too. Marty gets gun stunned. Hangman gets gun stunned. You got all 5 of them in the ring dead. Then you've got Chase Owen and Yujiro, and what is the most heartbreaking moment as a person who's watched Chase Owens, look, Chase Owens is a steady hand, right? That's the best way to put it. He's a cool guy. I'm looking forward to getting to know more about him on Being the Elite. I have only seen a handful of his matches, and the Japanese pimp, all I know about him is that he typically comes out with women that are half naked. That's the truth. So, I'm looking forward to learning more about them over the next couple of weeks as their characters evolve in Being the Elite. I think part of the reason that they broke off was so that they can be featured, and we can learn more about them, because I think this is leading to potentially a new Bullet Club. But we'll talk about that too. So, the last guy to come down to the ring is a limping, beaten, and battered Cody Rhodes. And I'm watching him, and I'm literally watching him come down to the ring, and I'm saying to myself, he's going to turn face. I know it. He's about to turn face. I could see it. I could read it. His hair went back black. I
honestly thought he was going to join the firing squad. I thought he was going to jump ship.
So let's talk about that for a second, the firing squad. So if you noticed, Tama gave Cody the opportunity to join the firing squad, which is really weird, because if you look at the Tongans' role in this whole story, they always said they were Team Tonga, but it seemed that they were more aligned with Kenny than Cody because of the relationship with them. But if you go back to the episode of Being the Elite where Kenny and the Bucks tried to poison Tama Tanga,
yeah,
Cody saved his life. Do you remember that part of the storyline?
Yeah.
They had poisoned the Monster Energy drink, and Cody came and took the monster out of his hand. So that could have all been, because the way that they think is continuity, that could have all been foreshadowing leading up to that whole event. So they offer Cody the spot in. Why does it make sense? Again, everybody, Bullet Club is a heel faction. Cody Rhodes was a heel. Offering him the spot made sense. So Cody comes in.
Hold on.
No worries. Hi, buddy.
Give him too sweet.
There he is. I'm doing it to my screen, buddy. I don't know if you see it. There you go. He's like, nah, I hear you guys talking about Kenny and Cody and all these other guys, so...
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it, too.
So...
Say, Dad, when are we going to another wrestling event?
Sorry, I was just...
But, yeah, man,
I posted a picture about In-N-Out Burger. It's blowing up. I don't know what the heck that's about. Anyway.
Yeah, apparently that shit is great. I've never been to it.
It's amazing. So, now, just trying to think of where we were at. So, the whole part about
the episode, yeah.
All right. So Kenny, now they offer Cody the chair. All right. And Cody takes the opportunity to, think about it for a second. It looked like he was genuinely thinking about what move to make. Now, if Cody Rhodes joins the Hit Squad or the Firing Squad, it makes absolute perfect sense. Because Bullet Club's heel. You saw the thing where Cody saved them earlier on. Also, at the same exact time, Cody becomes the new face of Bullet Club. Even though they all have the rank, he would have taken Kenny Omega's spot, supported by it. I read an article with that Tama Tanga was featured in. Did you read that article on Sports Illustrated, the one Tama Tanga put out?
I went through it. I didn't read. I read some of it. I know he mentioned he gave a phone call to Finn Balor, and Finn Balor approved of everything. And,
that's funny as shit. And they have. We said it before. They've been retweeting everything that OGBC is doing, which is cool. Way to. I don't know how WWE is allowing that one, but kudos to them.
I would love to see it though. I mean, an inter-promotion. You never know, because look at the shit that happened with the New Day and the Elite.
Yep, agreed.
That whole gaming shit. You never know. You never know what can happen.
150%. So, now, the next piece of that puzzle to look at, though, is when Cody doesn't turn, and then fucking Haku steals the chair from him, fucking Haku. Now we've got...
The fuck is up with Haku?
Dude! Now we've got clear lines drawn. And your lines drawn are the renewed Golden Elite, which does have Cody in it. Now, does that make Kota Ibushi Bullet Club? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the type of things that aren't explained.
It's kind of gray. You've got Chase.
Yeah, so like the Chase Owens and the other guy.
They've always been Bullet Club. So they're still Bullet Club. Yujiro and
no, but
Chase
that's what I'm
are
saying.
now
Like, you don't really, and being the elite, you really don't see much of those characters.
You're going to now. They're starting to develop out. You've been seeing Ibushi a lot. They're starting to add in Chase and Yujiro. They featured them in this episode. As a matter of fact, Hangman almost killed Chase. Did you see this most recent episode?
I have to go back to it. I saw it, but I was
watch it.
Watch
it. You know the scene where Hangman kills Joey with the phone, and then last week he almost killed himself with the phone.
Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck? He was playing video games with Chase and Kenny, and he almost killed Chase.
Oh, so that guy is Chase Owens?
That was Chase Owens.
Oh, I didn't know.
So they're starting to feature them more. So you have this renewed line of the Golden Elite, which is all of those guys, all the guys that are being the Elite cast. And then you have OGBC, which is actually really small now. Because literally it is Tama Tanga, Camacho, Tangaloa, Ishimori, Bone Soldier, and the de facto leader, the underboss, Bad Luck Fale, fuck him. You know what I said?
Is Haku part of it too?
No, he's not. He's just family. He's blood. That's it. You know. So what I find really funny here is that I tweeted the other day. I said, you know, for Fale to keep tweeting "fuck him," it's a bad look, and I'm going to tell you why. Fuck him is like what you say when someone leaves you out of something, right? Think about it. Like, if you think of like when you were a kid, if you got like left out when someone out to like all your boys went out and you were stuck home, you're like, oh, fuck him, man. I don't need him, right? So so to me right now, the Tonkins seem like this group of like scorned kids that didn't get invited to the party to make money, and they're just like, fuck them, right? Now, if you really look at the storyline, isn't that what happened? They talk about the Elite as this group of assholes that are all about themselves and not about Bullet Club. But then talk about AJ Styles and Finn Balor as if they're the biggest gold standards in Bullet Club. Well, let me tell you something. Finn Balor, fucking Prince Devitt, changed his name to Finn Balor and is now Finn Balor is for everybody. Let me smile and get you me a pot of gold, right? That's basically what Finn Balor is now. Like, where is the demon? Where is Prince Devitt? Give me Prince Devitt back. That's why he was signed, right? Where is the phenomenal AJ Styles, the champ that runs the camp, right? Where is that dude? They've sold out, taken the money from WWE, and said, Bullet Club. They just do their too sweet signs and saying it's for life and whatever the case may be. But realistically, the first story...
I just don't understand why they even do that for.
What? The too sweet?
The too sweet. Like, why are you doing it? You're not even part of the fucking Bullet Club anymore. You didn't even fucking bring it to the...
Every fan...
You didn't even bring not even any sign of Bullet Club to the WWE.
Other than Gallows and Anderson calling themselves the club.
Yeah, but now they call themselves the Good Brothers. So it has nothing to do with the fucking Bullet Club.
They do the Two Sweets as a symbol of what they were, where they came from. Who knows what the creative direction they get told is. But they are the Bullet Club. There's no denying or taking that away from them. But at the end of the day, what you have is Tama Tanga, Tangaloa, Bad Luck Fale, and Ishimori, who is amazing, all forming this subsect of Bullet Club saying that they're the real Bullet Club now.
Right.
I think what's happened... The first story was built on envy, and the second story is built on envy too. The first story was built on envy of leadership. Cody Rhodes not wanting to bow down to a leader. Listen, he's done that once in his life. That guy's name was Randy Orton.
Yes.
He does not want to do that again. So the first was envy of leadership. The second is envy over possession. Envy over the attention that the Bullet Club gets. Because for a long time... Gorillas of Destiny sat in the background. They were the least selling merch shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. Pro Wrestling Tees, you could back me up on that. They were the least selling merch shirt of all the Bullet Club names and factions. And if they weren't the least, maybe they were the second to least, because I guarantee you, Marty Scrull's outselling them. Hangman Page didn't have that much merch, but I'm sure it outsold them. All of the Cody, Kenny, and Buck stuff did too. Or even the overall Bullet Club stuff probably outsold them. So they were the least sold items on Pro Wrestling Tees.
I just feel like there's too many. The reason why they don't they don't resell that much. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's because I there's too many fucking for example, people get the misconception when you say villain club. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Then you have the other guy, the guy from Arrow.
Oh, Vigilante Club. I have that shirt.
Yeah, Vigilante Club, and then you have fucking the Bone Soldier.
Yep.
You have so many.
Well,
it confused me at first.
Cody Rhodes said it best. Bullet Club should be a small part of who you are. It's not who you should. Should be completely who you are. The guys in OGBC, it is who they are. Bullet Club is all they are, right? The Guerrillas of Destiny, a fantastic tag team. I mean, if they went to the WWE, you could put them on par with someone like the Usos, with someone, they really are a good team. That being said, they never achieved as large of success as the Elite. They never will until now. And this is why I'm telling you Bullet Club is fun. This next phase of the Bullet Club rivalry comes down to something really, really, really interesting. Is Kenny Omega staying with New Japan Pro Wrestling, or is he leaving? Just like the WWE could be rushing Daniel Bryan's, and that's already been all over the news, WWE could be rushing Daniel Bryan's storyline in case he leaves. That's why you got a Team Hell No reunion. That's why they're pushing him into the Miz now. Is Kenny Omega staying? Because if Kenny Omega stays, Kenny Omega retains leadership of Bullet Club, and I truly believe what will wind up happening is this. At the end of the year, Tama Tanga and Kenny Omega, Tama will win the G1. Kenny will fight Tama after they win the G1. They will have this huge battle, and who wins will be who's staying. So if Kenny's leaving for WWE, it'll be winner takes ownership of the Bullet Club, loser leaves New Japan Pro Wrestling. Just like that's how they got rid of Prince Devitt. Remember, it was to get the wrestler he was going against. But same scenario. And I think if Kenny wins, you know that Kenny's staying with New Japan. He'll take over Bullet Club, and the Guerrillas of Destiny will fall back in line. Maybe with Tama Tanga winning like the U.S. or the Intercontinental Championships, the mid-card championships. Eventually, he'll get a championship. So
I see that. I see that happening. I mean,
they're creating their backup.
It's 50-50 right now if Kenny leaves or not. I mean, I know his contract is up in January.
Right around the time of Royal Rumble again. And guess whose contract also is up?
The Bucks.
The Bucks. So
I think Cody as well.
As Cody might be. I don't know the details of Cody's, but literally they've set it up to where they've created their own brand that New Japan or Ring of Honor does not own. So if they were to go to WWE, they could bring the Elite with them. Right?
Yeah.
They could be the Elite in WWE.
I would love for all three of them to go, but I just it's so watered down in WWE.
I don't want it.
It's so watered down.
Although I heard rumors that Fox wants to push it more as a sports program. So if they move them from New Japan to SmackDown Live on Fox, which they are going to want to beef up talent on the show, although they already have a great roster, they're going to throw everything at that new Fox deal.
I would love to see. I mean, it doesn't have to be as excessive as it was back in the 90s, like the Attitude Era. But, throw some adult content in there every once in a while. You know what I mean?
They're not going to, though, because they want to keep... They think they don't trust parents' judgment to decide what we want to let our kids watch and what we don't want our kids watch. They don't want parents to get offended. But, dude, let's talk about what it really comes down to. I am an advertising executive, right? Brands don't want to buy against unsafe content, right? So they've removed blood. They've removed cursing. Basically, Vince McMahon has prostituted his product down to the point to where brands want to work with him. But if you really look at it, right, I pay attention to the sponsors. I pay attention to all of the people that are investing in WWE. Sure, maybe brands are lining up against them from a commercial standpoint, but they don't really have that many brands advertising their pay-per-views anymore or events. It's usually them plus like one small advertiser or, it'll be
like Snickers or...
Yeah, something like that. It's nothing crazy.
Twix or whatever.
But they've basically suffocated their fan base with this product so that they could push it to young kids. Like Roman Reigns, right? Do you know what Roman Reigns is to me? Roman Reigns is Tama Tonga waiting to happen. They should turn him into a brutal beast. but they don't. Right?
I've been saying that. I've been telling this to everyone. I said if New Japan plays it right with Tama Tanga, bro,
he could be the face of the company. Well,
they need to strap the rock and let him, because he has the potential.
Well, and I think you might come to a situation one day where Okada leaves New Japan, right? And Jay White takes over Chaos, and then you'll have Tama for Bullet Club, Jay White at Chaos. I forgot some of the other ones. You got Suzuki Gun with Zack Sabre Jr., right? So you've got all these guys stepping up that could move into the spots, just like Okada took over for Shinsuke and Omega took over for Balor. But I don't think it's going to get to that. I think with Mark Cuban backing New Japan now, I don't know if you knew that the Cuban's backing New Japan.
Yeah.
With Cuban backing
New Japan, it's going to get great. Listen,
it's going to get good.
And that's another thing I don't see. That's another thing that I don't see. Another reason why I don't see Kenny leaving. Because of Cuban.
Yeah, I could see.
And you know Cuban was going to give that guy everything not to leave.
And they also have the ability. They also have the ability to do joint deals.
He cannot afford his product to go downhill.
Agreed.
When he's just investing in it.
150%. So that's pretty much where Bullet Club is. Is Bullet Club fine? From the Cody Rhodes perspective of trying to lie to people and say, yes, Bullet Club is fine as a joke when he was fighting with Kenny. No, Bullet Club's not fine. It's still in the middle of a civil war. But
I think it's not fine.
But it's fine.
But it's going to get there.
No, I think it's fine. And what I'm saying is, looking at it from a business perspective, and guys, just again, filling you all in on what's going to be on this channel, it's not going to be, we're reviewing shows. We can talk about them. But it's going to be philosophical discussions about the wrestling industry. It's going to be talking about topics, talking about storylines, talking about things that have happened. Looking at it from the holistic angle, what they've done is position themselves to be fine, regardless of what happens with the contracts of the talent already in the stable. So if Kenny and the Bucks go to WWE tomorrow, Bullet Club is fine. Tama Tanga and G.O.D. and Fale and whoever's left that doesn't sign contracts falls back in under Tama Tanga. If Kenny stays, he beats Tama Tanga, wins rightful ownership of Bullet Club, Tama becomes a member of Bullet Club again and fades back into the background. Literally, Bullet Club is fine.
Yeah.
Right, man?
They're still making money.
Oh, hand over fist from me.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, man.
They're outselling every single fucking... I think they're even outselling every WWE superstar.
Oh, they are. Hot Topic's being destroyed by Bullet Club merchandise.
Yeah.
So, we're now hitting the 1 hour mark. Can you believe that? We're hitting the 1 hour mark. So,
nice.
I think we've had a really good conversation here. Guys, thank you for joining us. If you don't already subscribe to this channel, I implore you, I beg you to press the subscribe button. Dave's going to be joining me more often. We'll have other people join us. Please, again, if you know how to record a screen without the watermark over it for free, leave a link in the comments below. We're going to be doing a couple of unboxings towards the end of the week. I've got Slam Crate sitting at home.
I have my Pro Wrestling Crate coming in, should be in a couple of days. So I'll let you know, maybe we can do one together.
Yeah, we can do one
I'll do Pro Wrestling Crate, and you can do Loot Crate, I guess.
Yeah, no, I've got Pro Wrestling Crate, I've got Slam Crate, and I have 3 custom orders from Pro Wrestling Tees waiting for me at home. Literally sitting in the pile right now. I'm going to...
Well, you can do the other ones. I can do the Pro Wrestling Crate, or we can do it together.
I am going to put all that shit... We can open it together. I don't care. We're going to put all that shit out there so you guys can see what's in these damn boxes. We're also going to do a couple more topics this month. You know, we have Extreme Rules, which we could touch on some of the fallout from there. We can touch on... I've got a topic where I want to discuss Flip Gordon.
Horrible Extreme Rules.
Oh, so we're going to sign off. Again, I'm Charlie. I'm not going to tell you my last name because it's ridiculously long and you really don't want to know it. This is Dave Duran. We are going to say Bullet Club is fine. Join us next time. And subscribe to the channel below.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, brother.